Alright, in this video we'll look at system of equations or inequalities and equations as well. And then basically they're just word problems, okay? Tia and Ken each sold snack bars and magazine subscriptions for a school fundraiser as shown in the table below, okay? It also says that Tia earned $132 and Ken earned $190. Highlight the two equations which will make up the system. So we have to pick two equations to make up the system of equations. So usually when we have system of equations and word problems, we have two things that we're measuring. The first one is the money part, how much did they make? And then the second part is the quantity, like the number of items, okay? So it looks like Tia, she sold 16 of the snack bars, where Ken sold 20 of the snack bars. But I don't see S and S. They're kind of putting them together. So let me backtrack here then. So maybe they're not splitting them up with the amount of money because they all have the money parts in it. Maybe they're looking at what Tia did and then what Ken did. So let's go back to, for Tia. So she sold 16 snack bars, that's the S, and then plus 14 magazines. And looks like Tia, she earned $132. And then Ken, he sold 20 snack bars plus 6 magazines, and then he earned $190. So these are the two system of equations that I could use to solve. So if he wants me to highlight it, let's see, this one. And then 26, and then this one right here. Okay, so those are my two equations. All right, solve the system of equations you chose above. What does the solution of the system represent? So now that I have the system, let me go ahead and graph it and find my solution. So the only thing with Desmos is it expects you to graph using X and Y. So, because if I put S, it's not going to graph anything for me. Maybe it will. No, it won't. So I need to go ahead and just change this to X and Y so I can find a solution. So notice I changed the S, which represented snack bars, to, instead of writing S, I put X for snack bars. And then Y, I put it for magazine. Okay, so I just want to keep track of that because that's going to help me what my solutions look like. All right, on the next one, I have 20x plus 6y equals 190. All right, and then I'm just going to see where they cross each other right there. So it looks like my solution is 225. So the solution is 225. So what that means is there's 2 snack bars and 25 magazine subscriptions. I don't think so because they sold many of that. It looks like it cost $2 for the snack bars and it cost $25 for the magazine subscription, because that's pretty much the only thing that's unknown, right? So the price of each snack bar was $2 that Tia sold and $25 that Ken sold. No, because the price of the snack bars is just the same. It's how much they sold it, right? I think it's answer choice C. The price of one snack bar is $2 and the price of one magazine subscription is $25. Okay? Alright, a library contains 2,000 books. There are 3 times as many non-fiction books as fiction books. Alright, so there's 2 types of books here. You have fiction books And then you have non-fiction books. Okay, and it tells me that the non-fiction books, there are as many as 3 times of the non-fiction books, so 3 times as many non-fiction as there are fiction. So we're gonna say 3 times the fiction books. Okay, I know it's like, what, how do I relate it to this? So I see that it has 3 times, so which means that y could represent the non-fiction, whereas x represents the fiction, right? So you have this equation right here. So that's the first one I'm going to choose. And then it also tells me that the library contains 2,000 books. Okay, so if this represents, if fiction, non-fiction represents, is represented by y, together x plus y, there are 2,000 books. Okay, so x plus y, you have 2,000 books, and those are my 2 system of equations. Okay, so fiction represents x, whereas the non-fiction represents y. Alright, solve the system of equations that you chose and find the number of non-fiction books and fiction books. Alright, so to solve it, we're just going to put it in Desmos, help it to solve the system. So you have y equals 3x, and then x plus y together, we have 2,000 books, not 20,000, 2,000. Zoom out until you find your answers. Alright, so you have 500 and then 1,500. So you have x is equal to 500, whereas y is equal to 1,500. Remember, this represents the fiction books, and then this represents the non-fiction books. That's A. Alright guys, that was about it. Thank you.